Hello accolades, welcome back to yet another exciting video on the channel, guys, because the past week has quite clearly been full of positive vibes for Barça as we witness the return to group training of Gavi after exactly 10 months out of action. Remember, he injured his ACL while playing for Spain on international duty against Georgia around November last year, and thankfully it seems like Gavi has been ahead of schedule in his recovery and back to action, because we were expecting that Gavi would be back sometime in November, but right now it seems like Gavi is ahead of schedule, and it is very good news for us Barca fans and Hansi Flick, because quite clearly Gavi is one player that is going to definitely fit into the system and the philosophy that Hansi Flick is trying to introduce at Barcelona. And you could see very well that his teammates were very excited to have the youngster back in training. They gave him the lap of honor, they celebrated his return to training, and it was all positive vibes in training on Thursday after Gavi took part of the group training with the team. Of course, he's still working his way back to full fitness, so Barca definitely have to be cautious with the way that they use him and the way that he trains with the group this period. But it is good news to see that Gavi is back training with the group again. On Thursday, he didn't complete the whole training as a precautionary measure, of course, because he is not at the same level of fitness with his other teammates, but he took part of the training with the team. And also, it is looking very encouraging at this point. Very soon, it is likely that we are going to see Gavi back in action, back in a Barcelona shed, and I really cannot wait to have our little young warrior back on the pitch. It seems like at this point in time, Barca have given a timeline of about 15 days to have Gavi back in action, and this is a course of action that we are going to follow to see clearly if Gavi is definitely going to make his return to the pitch within that stipulated 15-day period. But in my opinion, we definitely should not be in a rush. We should not leave any stone unturned. We should not take any unnecessary risk at this point with these players, because Gavi has been out for a long time. It has been a heartbreaking period for us fans, for the player himself, and even for the club, because this is a player that offers a lot of value when he's available and on the pitch for the club. Unfortunately, we have missed his presence for the last part of 10 good months, and thankfully it seems like there is a light at the end of the tunnel, because Gavi is back to team training and hopefully he shall be making a match day squad soon. But fingers crossed and close attention to be paid to that development. But that is not where the positive vibes stop for Barca when it comes to this past week, because one of our players has also earned individual recognition from the Spanish League for his performances during the course of the month of August in La Liga, and that player is none other than Raphinha. It is one player that we have been raving about since the beginning of the season for his performances and his contribution under the guidance of Hansi Flick so far, and La Liga have also rewarded and recognized Raphinha for his performances. On Friday, Raphinha was named as La Liga's best player of the month of August. So that is a complete sweep of all the individual trophies for the month for Barca, because remember, we also reported and brought the news to you that Hansi Flick was named the manager of the month for August, and also our golden boy and star boy Lamine Yamal was also named as the best under-23 player in the Spanish league for the month of August. So Raphinha's victory as the league's best player for the month of August also completes a treble for Barca when it comes to the individual accolades for the month of August. And it is easy to see why Barca are doing the sweep, because of course we have had a perfect start to the season, which we hope is going to continue this weekend when we make that short trip to Montilivi to play our Catalan rivals Girona. So Barca, with a perfect record of 4 wins out of 4, 12 points, and sitting comfortably at the top of the La Liga table, even though it's still early days, it is easy to see why our players and our managers have been recognized by the league for the electric start that we have had to the season, and long may it continue. That is the desire and that is the dream of every cooler around the world, I bet you. But right now, if we do turn our attention to the action that is staring us right in the face this weekend, because the international break is over, of course, and we shall be heading to Montilivi for the short trip of the Catalan derby against Girona. Girona were high flyers last season. Remember, they beat us home and away both at the Montjuic and Montilivi with identical 4-2 scorelines on both occasions, and this time around Barca would definitely be hoping to rewrite the script. and why there are no new injury problems for Barca at this point in time, I am expecting to see the same lineup that Hansi Flick has been using for the most part this season, especially that game against Valladolid, of course, because thankfully most of the players have come back from the international break without any serious injury problems, and that means that most of them are available to Hansi Flick. So I am expecting to see a similar lineup to that one that beat Valladolid 7-0 at the Montjuic. Of course, maybe we might see the introduction of Eric Garcia in midfield, whether from the start or as a substitute like he has mostly been playing this season. But that is a call that Hansi Flick would make himself just before the game starts. However, one player who is likely to be sitting out the game against Girona is Ansu Fati, because he has been training during the course of the week. He has completed some training sections with the team, which means that he's on track to gain full recovery and return to the matchday squad. But it seems at this point in time, Hansi Flick is not taking any risk with Ansu Fati, because despite the fact that he has returned to team training, it is said that he has not completed a lot of the training sections, and it was only on Friday and on Thursday that he completed the full training section with the rest of the group. So right now, Hansi Flick does not want to take any risk with Ansu Fati. He wants to play it safe with Ansu Fati, just of course to avoid a reoccurrence or a relapse of the injury problems that he has been facing. So I think this is a very smart move from Hansi Flick, because mind you guys, it is a long season, bro. It is a long season ahead of us, and we need all our players in peak physical condition. So this is a very smart strategy from Hansi Flick. Of course, if Ansu Fati is not going to be playing against Girona or even be in the matchday squad at all, it seems like the period between the game against Girona and the Champions League game against Monaco, when Champions League resumes in midweek, I think that is enough time for Hansi Flick to observe Ansu Fati's fitness more in training, and likely we are going to see Ansu Fati when we make that trip to Monaco for the opening Champions League game of the season on the 19th of September 2024. So this is a smart move from Barca. There is no need to take any unnecessary risk at this point. We know what our luck has been with injuries in recent years, so it is only logical that we do not also help to make the situation worse than it already is at this point in time. So kudos to Hansi Flick and good luck to Ansu Fati, because I know if he gains full fitness, I am confident that Ansu Fati is one player that definitely and hopefully should be getting a lot of positive performances in this new system and style that Barca have been playing under Hansi Flick. So I think it is really encouraging to see that Barca are not taking any risk at this point with Ansu Fati, because of course we are not strangers to the fact that he has had a difficult last few years and last few months with the injury problems, the loss of confidence that he's had, and the last thing you want at this point is to make it easier for him to relapse on the injuries that he has been having. He needs to get his full fitness back, get his confidence back, and when he steps out on the pitch, he needs to be in optimum physical condition to be able to contribute and help the team. And when he does help the team, it is also possible that he shall begin to regain confidence and also gradually regain the form that we saw when he exploded onto the scene when he just started playing for Barca. So I really like this approach from Flick, and the positive vibes as well does not end there, because we have also seen the return of Ronald Araujo to the Ciutat Esportiva. Now the Ciutat Esportiva is Barca's training ground and Barca's training facility. So Ronald Araujo, who has been injured as well after the Copa America, is back in the Ciutat Esportiva to continue his recovery, because that means that he's drawing closer to a return to action. And it seems like most of the Barca players that have been injured, it seems like most of them are now trying to return ahead of schedule as well, because right now Gavi has returned to group training and Ansu Fati is also back training with the team as well. Now Ronald Araujo is back continuing and completing his recovery at the Ciutat Esportiva. So this is good news for Barca, because when we have all these players fit and available, this is a team filled with a lot of talent and a lot of quality. And I know that definitely when we play to the best and to the peak of our strengths, we are not a team that a lot of other teams in Europe would want to play against. But right now, if we do move on from matters on the pitch to matters off the pitch, it is the fact that La Liga have released their salary caps and the wage bills for the 2024-2025 La Liga season. And of course, let's not make any mistake about it. We know that Barca have not returned to the 1-for-1 rule at this point in time. But it would be misguided to say that Barca are still operating in the same dire financial situation like they were like 12 months ago, bro, because right now there have been some improvements when it comes to the numbers. Now I'm going to just flip through some of the numbers that we have seen real quick here, because on Friday it is said that Barca's limit is now at 426 million euros. Yeah, so that is up from 270 million euros last season and up 200 million euros in January. So of course you can see that while Barca are not where we want to be at this point in time, because when you take it into perspective, looking at our closest rivals, our nearest rivals, Real Madrid, now their salary cap, it is now 754.9 million euros. That is an increase from the 725.5 million euros that they had at the beginning of last season. So you can see the steady growth and rise that Real Madrid continue to enjoy in terms of their healthy financial position. This is what Barca are striving to achieve. But now Barca are second on that list when it comes to the high salary margins, because Barca's jump, like I said, now is from 270 million euros at the start of last season to 426.4 million euros at this point in time. So that is a very significant improvement on what the situation was before. And it is easy to see why, because we have completed some departures this season, like the likes of Gundogan, the likes of Longley, amongst a host of others that Barca have managed to ship out. So that of course helps with the wage bill. But this is not where Barca wants to be, and this is why we are not yet at the 1-for-1 rule. And I know a lot of you would be saying that Laporta has been filling us with a lot of unfulfilled promises, a lot of lies. Yeah, at sometimes we might question Laporta's claims in the media when he tries to sell us the false narratives. And when we criticize Laporta, of course, it is not because we really do not care or we want to just vilify and crucify him. It is because we actually care so much for the club and for what Barca stands for, and we also care for the welfare of the club, and we also dream and hope that one day Barca should be back where it belongs, in its rightful position as one of the strongest teams in the world, both sporting wise and economically. But let us not make any mistake about this. Right now, we can definitely not question Laporta's love for the club. He does everything from the heart, because we might question his moves, we might question his decision making, we might question some of the approaches that he has taken to things. But one thing we definitely cannot question about Laporta, it is his commitment to the club and his love for the club. And I know that it is not an easy job to be Barca president, because what Bartomeu left for Laporta to inherit was a total shambles. And I think it's credit to Laporta that Barca are even in this current situation. Of course, Real Madrid's salary margin is almost double what Barca has at the moment, but bear in mind that Barca still has some other deals coming through, like the Nike deal, which has not yet been signed yet, and also the Libero deal for some stake in Barca Media, which has also been pending for a while now. So if Barca are able to complete those deals, of course, we are going to see a highly significant jump when it comes to the financial position of the club. And I think once that is done, Barca are definitely going to be closer to the 1-for-1 rule in La Liga before long. So I think it is very encouraging for Barca at this point, because, well, even though we are not actually where we want to be yet, it is no secret that we are slowly but surely heading to where we wish to be in a few months' time or in a few years' time. But that is left for time to decide. But the numbers do not lie. There is a marked improvement in Barca's financial situation at this point as compared to 12 months ago. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. Are you as excited as I am that Gavi is back training with the group again and hopefully should be back on the pitch soon? What do you make of Barca's trip to Montilivi this weekend? Because we are going to be facing Girona, who beat us home and away last season with identical 4-2 score lines, and we shall be hoping to rewrite the script. What is your prediction for that game? And what are your immediate sensations about Barca's financial situation? Because we have seen an increase in the salary margin that has been allocated to Barca by La Liga. So let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. And if you enjoyed this video, please do give this video a like, turn on your notification bell so that whenever I drop on the channel, you shall be notified. And if it's your first time watching the channel, guys, please make sure it's not your last, because we have so much more Barca related content coming your way. So please ensure that you hit that subscribe button so that you shall be notified on anything concerning Barca. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for the great support. It means a lot to me. I really appreciate. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça, and I'll see you on the next video. Adios.